This is a review of my Casio Melody 30 watch, as well as a demonstration of some of the songs that it has. This is a vintage 1984 watch that was released by Casio, and it's still functioning wonderfully after all this time. The battery that it uses is a CR1616 battery, so slightly smaller, slightly unusual. One thing to be aware of is that if you do replace the battery, you will need to short the AC to enable the display again. So you can read about this on the other side, but basically you take a paper clip and you touch there's a little hole for the AC circuit, and you touch that to the back terminal of the battery. I demonstrated that on the watch battery replacement video I have that is uploaded separately. And this is mainly to demonstrate the songs on the watch. Now, I wanted to compare it. You can see that the Melody 30, on the left here I have a W217 modern watch. And you can see that's quite a bit bigger. Probably around the same width, but what it really fits and most closely is analogous to is the F91. And you can see they're both roughly the same size, and it's a very slim watch. I would say it's probably around 9mm, although I haven't measured it. It makes a noise every time you click it. And interestingly enough, it can have separate alarms. You can see you can have 5 alarms on the system, a stopwatch, and you can set the time. So it's got a lot of options to it. The music that it shows comes in 4 different genres. There's classic music. I don't know if that, yeah, so it's denoted here. There's classic, there's Latin, there's folk songs, and then there's pop songs. And then finally, there's 2 extra songs because there's each of the types. There's 4 alarms, right? So each one of those has 7 options for songs, so that's 28. Plus there's 2 extra songs for a date alarm and a time signal. Now, I apologize. I am going to link the PDF that I found, a page that shows all the Melody alarm songs. I'm going to play them out and I'll try to read them out, but it is not I'm afraid I'm probably going to butcher the sounds of it. One reason I'm updating this video is because using modern smartphones, the video quality may be a bit better than previously available YouTube videos. So let's see what we can do here. There you go. So let's start with that. So alarm 1. That should be a Mendelssohn Frühlingslied. That's Chopin's Nocturne, Opus 9, number 2. That's Beethoven's Türkischer March. That is Gossec's Gavotte. That's Mozart's Symphony Number 40 in G minor. That's Brahms' Hungarian Dance. And that's Bach's Menuett. Now, that's all the classics, so we're going to move on. So we go to second alarm. Second alarm should be Latin songs. And once again, there are 7 versions of that. So let's play them for you. That's Perez Prado's Mambo Number 5. Barry Manilow's Copacabana. That's Fernandez's Cielito, Lindo. Robles' El Condor Paso. That was the Wednesday alarm. I guess I should start describing which day each alarm is for. That is the Thursday Mexican folk song, La Cucaracha. That's Friday songs and Queena's Tico Tico. Not familiar with that one. That's a West Indian folk song, Jamaica Farewell. So that ends the Latin songs. We're now going to move on to folk songs. Okay, and so what happens is each day of the week, it will play a different song, Sunday through Saturday. So it starts on the Sunday, number 1 song is Sunday. So this is now folk song. That's a German folk song. I apologize. The Sunday song is Unterlanders Heimweh. American folk song for Monday, that's Stagecoach. That was by Wendell Westcott. That's a Tuesday song, Holderidia. American folk song, When the Saints Go Marching In, Wednesday. That's a Thursday song, M.I. Blanter's Katyusha. That's the Neapolitan folk song, Santa Lucia. That's S.C. Foster's O Susanna. So that ends, that's the Saturday song. So that ends the folk song bit. And now we're going to go to alarm number 4, which is pop songs, which these are probably 80s and 70s pop songs. Quite interesting. These are Sunday. You'll recognize this one. If you didn't know that Sunday song, that was Stranger by Billy Joel. Monday's song in the pop category is Camford and Gabler's Love. This is Polnareff's Tutu pour ma chérie. Wednesday's song coming up is that's Scott Joplin's The Entertainer. That was Thursday's song by Lennon and McCartney. That's Hey Jude. Although you may know the Sinatra rendition, they list this as the Friday song, Fly Me to the Moon by B. Howard. Okay, and that's Romance as a Spanish folk song for Saturday, and that finishes up the pop category. So now we're going into the date alarm, I believe. The date alarm melody is that was Mozart's Ein klein Nachtmusik. That was the hourly time signal or the noontime melody by Handel. That's Harmonious Blacksmith. So that finishes up all the songs available on this. You can keep on changing alarms. Look at the stopwatch function. So standard, start, And it's got the interesting movement lights, stop, start again or pause. You can split time. And then you can take a look at your split times and reset. Here, well, this is a standard Casio thing to set the time. Right now we're going to coordinate that with this one here. So it's 2, oops. And because it has extra buttons on the front, it's very nice. You can go forward and backwards, which, you know, even the modern digital watches don't always have that. So we'll just do 2:14, okay? And then it's got a date function. Interestingly enough, I don't know if this will be affected by the Y2K. I highly doubt it. These are pretty simple devices. And it doesn't look like it because you have to manually set the date anyways there. So that is your set watch. Interesting enough, take a look at this backlight. It's a beautiful white color. Well, you can see it there. It's kind of illumination. This one, the F91, is famously known for its poor backlight, but the backlight is greenish. The other thing that I'd say that's interesting, you see I can turn on and off the 24-hour time, but it's 2 a.m. in my time zone, so it won't make a difference. And let me show you how it looks on my wrist. Let me just zoom out. Now this is using the F91 strap, and I managed to get a vintage F91 strap. All the new F91 straps unfortunately use these plastic clasps, which feel and sound not the greatest. And in fact, look at that watch there. It still looks great, I have to say. In fact, I think it stays on the wrist better because it does have these lugs that extend outwards, and they are a little bit curved, as you can see. So that helps it stay centered on your wrist. So it's a very good design. I've never seen the Melody 30s re-released, and I think that it's partly because all these songs are licensed, and I presume that, you know, especially the pop songs, they would have to re-license them or maybe update it to a modern version. I can see the classic ones not being a big issue. But for a 1984 to 2025, we have a 41-year-old watch functioning perfectly with clear speakers. The one thing I will say, even though it has a little gasket on the back here and a stainless steel back, this is not waterproof by the sheer fact that it has an open speaker at the front here. And I think that you do have to be a little bit more careful with it. I am just amazed that Casio did an amazing job of these 80s watches. That was honestly part of watches' heyday. I know that modern times with cell phones, people are not wearing watches anymore. You know, maybe if you are going to wear something, it's going to be a smart watch that pairs to your phone. Back in my childhood years, there was almost, since grade 2 or grade 3 when I got my first watches, I think I always had a watch on my wrist. It was just the thing to have, and it was just the coolest thing. I loved it. Later on, I transitioned out of the Melody 30, and in my high school days, had a watch more similar to the F91, actually. It was a sports watch also by Casio. And then finally, in my university years, I transitioned to analog Casio with a dial, which was a great deal and lasted me through my whole university career. Given the fact that these things are so well engineered and bulletproof, I think that if you're a vintage watch collector, you should still look out for these. They don't come on the market very often. I do wonder if a lot of them have been damaged or just not looked after over the years. You can see that it is a resin surface, but nothing a little bit of poly watch can't help scrub up and just make a cleaner look of it. And I think it'd be very nice to add to your collection, or if you can just demonstrated that I think it's probably one of the less known Casio watches from that era. Anyways, I hope this review is helpful. I will add a PDF for a snapshot of all the song list there. And I'm gonna finish off this audio by doing ending in the screenshot of the song list. It's not gonna be perfect because it's on my computer screen, but it may help people that want to know what songs these are. So let me just pause that and switch over. So this is the song list for the Melody 30 from 1984 Casio Module 472.